Hello and welcome to the presentation for our Nuke Incorporated. We're going to see how we could implement some security procedures, and we're going to also look at our executive summary. This project is to implement safety cybersecurity procedures that would comply with the network. These practices will ensure safety and reduce the chances of vulnerability. Please enjoy. Framework. This is the framework that we'll be using in our organization and in our network here. So the next network would be the best course of action for Nuke, as its advantage would aid to we want to make sure we are doing the best course of action, and being NIST compliant is we're seeing a couple of reasons why here. Looking at this bulletin, it says non-compliance with NIST would result in our procedures for the NIST framework is recover, identify, protect, detect, and respond. So first, to recover, we would create and put together necessary procedures to maintain this section of the summary. We are going to see how we're going to apply the NIST framework into our network. Here are one of the ways we can apply our NIST framework into our network. Access control. Having an access control properly implemented would help us to know what is connected to our network. Configuration management. Configuration management is the control. We examine each network process, setup, and cybersecurity protocol, including drafting the necessary documentations and identification and authentication. To decide on each user and their position inside the network, including granting access to the appropriate user in order to preserve and secure the data in the firm. So incident response. So here we're going to prepare a strategy for the cybersecurity assaults and testing the projects within the network to ensure its effectiveness. Now, in order to protect our network, we have to also remember the physical risks and the risk assessment as well. So here we have the physical protection, the authority in charge of verifying. Here are some threats and vulnerabilities to be aware of in a network environment. We have phishing. Using a phony prepared message, the attacker gains access to the victim's computer and steal company's information. This Here are some more threats and vulnerabilities. Spear phishing is a similar to phishing, but spear phishing is an attack method used to access users' accounts or spoof specific accounts at the target's firm. Also, a privacy principle, we have confidentiality. Applying the security policy in this framework will ensure that no unauthorized group or person from any devices, whether internal or external, maintain integrity to the information incorporated will be able to protect the data, make sure that it won't be lost or damaged during transfer. Availability. Authorized users will have quick and simple access to the data, services, and other resources assigned to the proper person. Nuke Incorporated will strengthen the security and protection of its data. Implementing the NIST framework is a big impact into our enterprise. The enterprise would raise its security level and be able to identify any potential system vulnerabilities in the future. Here we're going to see the organization's systems and network diagram. The most, the three big risks that we need to be aware of is the cost-effective resource usage, increased exposure to hackers and data loss. Here's a technical requirement for each employee. Each employee needs to be technically trained and knowledgeable in order to reduce any danger brought on by human interface, applying the proper application controls, monitoring activity. Here for my IT task fellows, here is a task for them. As IT specialists, IT must keep all network devices and systems up to date, including cell phones. Each computer or device. This is how we're going to properly implement the system's connectivity. Connection to the internet occurs at the router to router VPN level, where VPN employs a tunneling protocol. Here's a little diagram of our network and our connection and connectivity with our framework that will be able to protect us. We have firewalls right before the network. Here we have the cybersecurity awareness infograph. Just a little information from that. We have securing applications. Very important in our network. We need to make sure that our applications are up to date. The internet provides unrestricted access to information. It is a necessary tool in the 20th centuries, but it also posed a possibility of a security breach. Scams can result in money fraud, vulnerable and outdated components. The application programs the framework utilizing an outsider library, and assailants can utilize any of the library code to take advantage of the framework.